Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Now, this is an update on what's going on uh, in the Middle East. At first, it was uh, Babylon and Amalek. The U.S. and Israel versus Iran, and the now 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 you have other nations that want to join in to help go against Iran. But this is prophecy coming to pass. This is the beginning of World War III, and this is TRT World. Um, the U.S. thought they were uh, thought they were strong enough to go against Iran, and Iran is definitely putting up a fight. This is TRT World. It says U.S. can't stop everything that Iran fires. Pentagon admits. U.S. Defense Chief declares Tehran cannot outlast us. As Washington signals deeper strike inland. This is 13 hours ago. This is March 4th, 2026. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth has acknowledged that some Iranian air attacks may still hit their targets, even as he asserted that the U.S. military superiority is quickly giving it control of Iran's airspace. Now, the news over here, the media, they're not going to tell you that there's way more than 5 or 6. Now they bumped it up to 11 casualties uh, on the side of the U.S. It's way more than that with Babylon, which is the U.S., and Babylon, which is the U.S., and then you have Amalek over there in the land. Um, they are they're not doing so well. They're not doing so well. It's way more than 6 or 11 casualties. It's way more than that. And plus, Iran stopped and closed out the Strait of Hormuz. So, U.S. is trying to force their way in, and they can't. They're stuck. So, DJT did not think this through. It is because of his pride. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. You know, the U.S. has prepared no expense or capability to enhance air defense systems to protect American forces and allies in the Middle East, and they're not working. Hegseth told reporters at the Pentagon days after the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran in a war that has widened throughout the region. So let me get a scripture, because they weren't thinking this through, and now they need help from NATO. You know, let me see. There's a whole bunch of scriptures with pride in it. I want to get Obadiah, but oh, this is good. This is good. This is so good. Barakatah Yahweh Shemel Shai. Proverbs 11:2. I'll get Obadiah later. Lord will. Um, when 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 pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. So DJT, right? They were advising him that hey, it's not wise to go and do this right now, but Amalek control the U.S. In other terms, I don't like to curse, but uh, the U.S. America is a small hat bitch, because they own everything. They own the U.S. It's bought and paid for. So anything that they they say, the U.S. have to follow it. And any trouble that Amalek, uh, the land of Israel get in, the U.S. has to go behind and help them. So this is the pride that they're showing that hey, we're capable. We don't need NATO. Like 1 or 2 months ago, they wanted to take Greenland from Denmark, which is a NATO member, and they were talking all that smack against NATO, and now they need NATO, right? When pride cometh, then cometh shame. So now they're in shame because the ammo run out, and now they need uh now they need help. Now they need a couple more million, to make more more to make more ammo and restock. You know, when pride cometh, so that was pride. I'm good. Greatest military in the world. We could do anything. Uh, Babylon and Amalek, going against just Iran. We're good. They're gonna back down, and they didn't. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. So now it's a shame. The whole world is looking at Babylon like, yo, we thought you were the bully. We thought no one could come up against you, and the whole world is seeing the shame of Babylon. You know the but with the lowly is wisdom, and the lowly. Let me look up that word. Uh, to be humble, be modest, be lowly. Now, now the scripture says that before honor is humility. Well, I didn't. Salakia. Yeah, but the lowly is wisdom, and it means to be humble. And humble can go into meek, and the meek are the Israelites. In this time around, the elect of Israel, which is and patiently waiting. Suffering. Patience means to suffer, going through trials and tribulations, waiting for, waiting and having faith on Yahweh Shai to deliver us. Waiting for the Most High Yahweh to give the command to Yahweh Shai to come deliver us. Lord will. But we're patient. Suffering, going through tribulations, and we're in the beginning of Jacob's trouble. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. There's scripture that say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. So we're gonna need wisdom to be able to traverse or uh, go through Jacob's trouble, and faith and protection from the Lord. The wisdom that we've gathered through experience with suffering in the truth. You know, we're suffering now so that we don't have to suffer like the rest of these 2/3 and people when Jacob's trouble really gets heated. Uh, Pride. I didn't plan on getting these scriptures. I just really wanted Isaiah 14, but it's the spirit. Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Right? Pride goeth before destruction. They're getting there. I don't like to curse, but whatever. I'm going to say it. They're getting their asses handed to them. Barakatha Yahweh Shem Yashai. And this isn't even it yet, because the prophecy of the MOTB has to come to pass first before destruction comes. So this is like the beginning stages of WW3. This is a build up. The MOTB still has to come. The end is not yet. Matthew 24 chapter. Pride goeth before destruction. There's a lot more than 6 or 11 casualties. Believe it. And they're running out of ammo. And the other nations have to join in. And some of them are not. Like Spain is like, nah. And the UK is like, yo, we could we're giving you our ships, but we ain't joining in to help. They're still helping, but they're not helping on that level. To give them aid in fighting. Pride goes before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Let me see. There's you know what? I'm gonna get. Okay, let me see. This is Yahoo News. The free world needs more air defense rounds. The free world is what? America. When you buy through... no. Soldiers move ordnance on the deck of USS Abraham Lincoln. That's the air... what do you call it? Airship carrier? That's the that's aircraft carrier. Yeah, that's the aircraft carrier. Yeah, aircraft carrier. It's a huge ship that has air vehicles on it, like jets, fighter jets. The Wall Street Journal editorial board. The Iran war is still in its early days, but this is like day 4. No, it's February 28th. Then that's day 1. It's like day 4 or 5, because now it's March 4th. The Iran war is still in its early days, but the press is playing the wrap it up music. I remember that sketch in the Dave Chappelle show back in the early 2000s. It was like the best sketch comedy show ever. I'm not even gonna lie. When he had the wrap it up box, anytime someone would get annoyed and someone was talking too much, they would take it out and press it, and they'd be like, wrap it up, or wrap it up, B. Playing the wrap it up music by warning that America and its allies lack air defenses for a long fight. They lack air defenses for a long fight, says the Wall Street Journal editorial board. I don't need to read anymore. They're running out of ammo. And this just happened today. But I'm going to get... Isaiah 13 and... No. 14. My bad. Wait, let me see it. 13. No. Isaiah 14 and verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath. Salakia. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. Stroke is going into hit, striking, like how they doing those air strikes right now. It's hitting the target. That's what it's going into. And also, when you punch someone, that's a strike or a blow. You know, going into oppression. He will smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. Going into colonization, being the bully of the earth. First started with, the European nations, the UK. They colonized the world. French colonized a lot of countries, which are Edomites, by the way. Even though Jake ruled before in the Dark Ages, but now in modern times, it's Esau. The British colonized a lot of these countries. France, Spain colonized a lot of countries. Like, for example, a lot of the Northern Kingdom tribes, so-called Latinos and Hispanics, they speak Spanish. A lot of them, they speak Spanish. The majority of the majority of the countries in America speak Spanish because of Spain. Spain conquering, these this part of the world, which are Edomites, which are ruled by Edomites. He that ruled the nations in anger and is persecuted and none hindereth. So this is the beginning of their judgment. None hindereth, none stoppeth. Verse 9. Let me see. Yes, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So hell from beneath thee is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Hell represents the grave. It can also represent a lower state. Hell, which meaning the grave, from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. So that represents, him being faced with death, with judgment. It stirreth up the dead for thee. So the dead are the other nations, even the chief ones of the earth. So then it goes further to explain even the chief ones of the earth. So these kingdoms, like Iran is a major player in prophecy because they're the ancient Persians. Russia, that's Magog, Ezekiel 38, which Russia and also China is gonna back Iran, because the reason why they're really going at it with Iran is because of the central bank. Iran do have a central bank, right? Which they needed to finally get that country to get it so they could link all the world together. With the NWO. But listen, the BRICS have their own digital system. The BRICS have their own digital system. Even all the chief ones of the earth. So all these countries that are powerful, that have nuclear capability, like NATO and EU nations. Iran is one of them, right? I believe. Yeah, of course, Russia, China have missiles. I believe India also has missiles. Even all the chief ones of the earth. So the powerful countries right now that are going at it, that will be involved in the Middle East and WW3. So the Lord is gathering the nations there right now. This is the beginning of it. And the Lord used the least of the flock to draw out Babylon, The least of the flock is, insignificant, ignoble, low birth, and that's the Amalekites, the small hats that's in the land right now. You know, they started all this, and America had to back them because Amalek owned the U.S. It had raised up from Yet have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So the kings of the nations are being raised up, ready to go to battle right now. And they're literally doing it right now. This is the point. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right? Because you want to know why? At one point, Iran wasn't as powerful. But now America can't play the bully anymore because all these countries that didn't have military might and nuclear power before, nuclear weapons before, now they do have it. So so now the pride is being used against them. They're blinded by their pride, right? These weak nations aren't weak anymore. Now they're strong. And you know, that's the end of the lesson. You know, let me see if I could get one more. Oh yeah, um, see TRT World, TRT News. Let me see if I could get this. I don't think I have it. Oh no, I don't have it open. Bro, what's going on? Loses one thing. Let me see if I could get this. So, damn. It doesn't want to show. But let me see if I could get the article from here, anyways. Cause Google sucks right now. You have to go on .go. So let me just read it from right here and end the lesson. This is from Times of India. Okay, so Times of India is very good. I would have thought that because it's India that it's not good, but they these other countries got some very good news. I'm not even gonna lie. They say more than the American media, like Al Jazeera, TRTs in Turkey. The financial toll of the escalating U.S.-Iran conflict is mounting rapidly, according to estimates compiled by Anadolu Agency. Nearly 1.9 billion worth of U.S. military assets have been damaged or destroyed across the Middle East in just the first 5 days of war. So from February 28th to March 4th, that's 5 days. Among the most significant losses, a 1.1 billion dollar AN slash FPS 132 early warning radar system. That's a missile warning system at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. 3 F-15 E Strike Eagles reportedly lost in a friendly fire incident, and that's spiritual. I believe I made a video on that. That's spiritual because that was by Kuwait, I believe, and Kuwait is a non-NATO ally of the U.S. So they're allies, right? And even though it's not much, they get aid from Babylon. They get military aid, weapons aid, weapon sales. And that was a friendly fire thing that happened, but which that's spiritual. That's very spiritual that happened, because that's Obadiah 1:7. Even though it's, like so tiny, like, oh, it's friendly fire. What are you talking about? There's not prophecy, but it's just a sign that prophecy's coming to pass, and that's gonna happen on a grand scale when America's allies turn against it completely. You know. And that's the end of the lesson, Lord will. This was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Akakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.